if there is anything that you're trying to change about yourself, then I want to share something that will help you. It literally doesn't matter what it is you're trying to change. You could be trying to change a habit or a way of relating to people or a relationship, maybe a certain way of being or speaking or listening. Doesn't matter what it is, but if there's something you're trying to change about yourself, what I'm about to share with you will help you to be so much more effective at that. And when I see somebody not doing this, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I see people stumbling in the way that I'm about to describe, because this way is so unnecessary and it's so counterproductive. And the person is on the path of changing themselves, and then they do this, and then the entire process is undermined. So I'll give you an example of how this shows up. For myself recently, I'm working on shifting my diet to be a quite extreme cleansing diet because I have an overpopulation of a naturally occurring fungus in my gut that I want to get rid of. So I have to eat in a very kind of extreme way for a while in order to do that. And so when I noticed myself not eating in this way, what had happened habitually and what's still happening sometimes now is I would have a little micro judgment against myself for eating that way. So I might eat some fruit and say, oh, see, look, I'm still not good at not eating this way, this cleanse way. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm a loser, I'm horrible, but it's just little micro like, oh, see, I did it again. Or, oh, it doesn't matter. But actually it does matter, so I'm just saying that as a way of justifying it because I'm judging myself at a deeper level. These little micro judgments of myself for my behavior that I'm trying to change. This is what we do so automatically. And when we're trying to change a behavior, the way the behavior tries to hold on is to judge ourselves in the moments that we fail to change it. So if I'm trying to be a better listener, and that I notice in a conversation I'm not listening very well, and my response to that noticing is something to the effect of, see, there I go again, not listening well, or I'm not making any progress on this, or I can't change this, or I'm not changing fast enough. All of those things are different flavors of these micro judgments against ourselves for our capacity and our success so far in the process of changing something. And that, the judgment against ourselves for our ability and our success in changing something, shuts down the entire process of change. The metaphor I use for this is, it's like if change is a path, if there's a path of changing myself in a certain way, and I'm on that path and I'm making some progress, even a little bit, even a few steps down, or I could be a mile down that path and almost done. If at any point on that path, I judge myself for my ineffectiveness in that process of change, I back myself all the way up to the start of the path, I put a gate at the front of that path, and I lock the gate. By judging myself for how I'm showing up or not showing up on my path of change, I put a gate and I lock it at the front of that entire path. I shut down my access to that change completely. So you don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to judge ourselves negatively no matter what happens on that path. If I eat a piece of candy, or if I just popped a Snickers bar or something like that, any judgment that I put on myself for having done that is 1,000 times worse for having eaten it, because that judgment has me feel negative and bad. It brings my emotional state down, brings my capacity to make higher and better decisions down. The likeliness that I'm going to eat unhealthy increases. That's the paradox of this stuff. The judgment. I think that judging myself is going to make me be better, but it actually makes me worse. It inflames the behavior. It inflames the behavior when I judge myself. It doesn't actually move it away. So, what do we need to do instead? Well, in those moments, this is what I've been practicing in this context, and I've done in many other places, and will continue to do when I notice myself judging myself for my lack of success in something or ability to change something. What I've been doing is I notice something is, it's okay. It's okay. It's not okay that I ate that food in the sense where I can just keep doing that and expect that I'm going to cleanse my body. It's like, I'm not bad. I'm innocent. I had a carb craving and I gave into it and I ate that food, and it's okay. I'm not going to hell, right? I'm not going to be judged and suffer an eternal damnation. I'm not a bad person. Be kind. Be kind to yourself in the work of changing yourself, and you actually give yourself jet fuel in that change. Because by being kind to myself, I'm free, I'm relaxed. The chances that I'll make a healthier, quote unquote, decision, well, healthier in a food wise as well, decision the next time is so much higher because I've been kind to myself. This is the most important thing in all self-change. It's your way of relating to yourself when you become aware of a behavior that you don't want to have. The moment you see yourself behaving in a way you don't want to behave, how you relate to yourself in that moment of awareness is the highest leverage point for self-change. If you can notice behaviors you don't want to have, and you can be kind and loving and accepting of yourself and forgive yourself, and in that same moment declare and commit to something greater, you're going to be so much more successful and be able to change so much more rapidly. So cultivating self-kindness, unconditional love. You don't love yourself with the condition that you behave in the ways that are more ideal or what you would love to. You don't condition your love on that. You give yourself love no matter what. If you have kids, you can probably relate to, especially when they're young, before you forgot their innocence and you would just be kind to them no matter their behavior, right? The metaphor sometimes I use is a baby throwing food at like 6 months. You kind of show up one way with them. It's like, no, sweetie, it's okay. I love you. And let's just keep the food on the table. Haha, clean it up, wipe it off the wall. But when they're like 5 years old and they're throwing food, it's like, no, that's wrong. All of a sudden we start to bring anger and judgment because we've forgotten their innocence, that sometimes behaviors just emerge from a deeper place. And that same shift, we do that to ourselves as well. But if we can start to treat our own behaviors like a 6-month-old, where it's not like we let it continue, we take the food away or whatever, or we shift the behavior, but we don't bring the anger or the frustration or the judgment to it, that actually cultivates a new behavior much more quickly. So be kind to yourself. If there's anything you can do, be kind to yourself when you notice yourself not being or acting in the ways that you want to be or act. And I promise you, if you just tackle this, if you only be kind to yourself in your moments of awareness of behaviors or actions that you don't want to be taking, that alone will change everything. All of your changes will start to occur almost by themselves as a result of your kindness to yourself. Today is the perfect day for you to create who you are. You are loved and you are powerful. And I am loving you simply for your being here. I'll talk to you soon.